The concept of the devil has intrigued and fascinated people for centuries. This video explores the concept of the devil in major religions around the world. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and click on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. We highly value your engagement, so feel free to leave a comment sharing your thoughts. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the concept of the devil or an evil figure comparable to Satan in other religions is not explicitly present. However, there are certain entities and figures associated with negativity, chaos, and opposition to the divine order. One significant figure associated with evil in ancient Egyptian mythology is Apep, also known as Apophis or Apipi. Apep was depicted as a giant serpent or dragon, representing chaos, darkness, and destruction. It was believed that Apep dwelled in the Duat, the realm of the underworld, and sought to disrupt the cosmic order by attacking the sun god Ra during his nightly journey through the underworld. Another figure associated with negativity in ancient Egyptian mythology is Set. Set was one of the most complex and controversial deities in the Egyptian pantheon. Although not solely evil, Set was often depicted as a god with chaotic and disruptive tendencies. He was associated with violence, storms, and desert landscapes. Set was portrayed as the antagonist who murdered his brother Osiris, the god of fertility and ruler of the living. Set's actions were seen as disruptive to the natural order, symbolizing conflict and disorder. However, it is important to note that Set was also worshipped as a protective deity in some regions and was associated with concepts such as strength and perseverance. It is essential to recognize that the ancient Egyptian worldview was not strictly divided into a dichotomy of good and evil. Their cosmology involved a complex interplay of various deities and forces, with a focus on maintaining Ma'at, the divine principle of balance, justice, and order. In Hinduism, the concept of evil is not personified in a singular devil figure. Instead, evil is seen as a result of ignorance, ego, and the delusion of one's true nature. Hinduism recognizes the presence of various demonic beings, such as Rakshasas and Asuras, who represent negative forces and can cause harm. Rakshasas are supernatural beings or demons found in ancient Indian mythology and religious texts. Rakshasas are often portrayed as powerful, malevolent entities associated with chaos, darkness, and the forces of evil. They are depicted as shapeshifters with formidable strength and magical abilities. Rakshasas are known for their wickedness, ferocity, and insatiable hunger for flesh and blood. They are often associated with disturbing activities such as cannibalism and dark rituals. Asuras are often depicted as powerful, malevolent beings associated with chaos, darkness, and opposition to the gods. They are known for their immense strength, magical abilities, and desire for power and dominance. Some Asuras are depicted as having redeeming qualities, engaging in penance, or pursuing knowledge and spiritual growth. In Hindu mythology, the Asuras are considered the adversaries of the Devas, the gods. In religious texts, the battles between the Devas and Asuras are symbolic of the eternal struggle between good and evil, light and darkness. Hinduism focuses on the eternal struggle between good and evil within each individual and encourages the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment to overcome negative tendencies. In Judaism, the Yetzer Hara is also known as the evil inclination or the evil impulse. It refers to the inherent inclination or tendency within human beings to engage in negative or sinful behavior. It represents the internal struggle between the desire for good and the temptation to do evil. According to Jewish tradition, The Yetzer Hara is not a physical entity or a visually depicted figure, but rather a metaphorical representation of the internal forces that drive human beings to act against moral and ethical principles. It is described as a force or inclination that pulls individuals towards self-gratification, selfishness, and immoral actions. The Yetzer Hara can manifest in different ways, such as the desire for excessive material wealth, lustful thoughts, jealousy, anger, or any other inclination that goes against the commandments and values of Judaism. Judaism teaches that every person has both a Yetzer Hara and a Yetzer Hatav, the good inclination which represents the desire to do good and follow God's commandments. It is believed that the struggle against the Yetzer Hara is essential for spiritual growth and the development of moral character. Judaism provides various tools and practices to help individuals combat the influence of the Yetzer Hara. These include studying and understanding Jewish texts, engaging in prayer and meditation, observing the commandments, participating in acts of kindness and charity, and seeking guidance from knowledgeable mentors and spiritual leaders. The ultimate goal in Judaism is to strike a balance between the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Hatav, to harness one's desires and inclinations towards constructive and positive actions. By consciously choosing righteousness, individuals can strengthen their spiritual resolve and lead a life of moral integrity. According to Christian belief, Satan, who is also known as Lucifer, is a fallen angel who rebelled against God and was cast out of heaven. In Christian theology, Satan is typically depicted as a powerful, malevolent being who embodies evil and opposes God and his followers. One common representation of Satan in Christian art is that of a horned, red-skinned creature with bat-like wings, hooves, and a tail. This imagery is influenced by artistic interpretations, including medieval and Renaissance depictions of demonic figures. These visual representations aim to convey the infernal and sinister nature of Satan rather than a literal physical form. Satan is characterized by his deceitful and manipulative nature. In Christian belief, Satan is considered the father of lies and the tempter who seeks to lead people away from God and into sin. He is depicted as cunning, persuasive, and relentless in his efforts to undermine human faith and morality. He is often referred to as the accuser, highlighting his role as a prosecutor who brings accusations against humanity before God. Satan is seen as the ruler of demons and the leader of spiritual forces in opposition to God and his kingdom. According to Christian teachings, Satan's rebellion and influence will be fully eradicated in the final judgment when God establishes his kingdom in its fullness. This belief emphasizes the triumph of good over evil and the ultimate victory of God's plan for redemption and salvation. Christian teachings encourage believers to resist Satan's temptations, remain steadfast in their faith, and rely on God's strength to overcome evil. While the core belief in Satan as a fallen angel who opposes God remains consistent, specific details regarding his appearance and nature may differ among various theological perspectives. In Islam, the devil is also known as Iblis or Shaytan, and it's a significant figure associated with evil and temptation. According to Islamic belief, Iblis is a jinn, a type of spiritual being created from smokeless fire. Islam does not provide a detailed physical description of Iblis or Satan. However, Islamic teachings focus more on his nature, actions, and influence rather than his physical appearance. In Islamic tradition, Iblis was initially among the ranks of the angels and was known for his devotion and piety. When Allah commanded the angels to prostrate before Adam, the first human, Iblis refused out of pride and arrogance. This act of disobedience led to his fall from grace and his transformation into Satan. Islamic teachings emphasize that Iblis has no power to compel humans to commit evil acts, but rather seeks to tempt and mislead them through whispers and suggestions. He is depicted as the ultimate adversary of human beings, constantly seeking to lead them astray and distance them from the path of righteousness. Iblis is portrayed as a cunning and deceptive figure who exploits human weaknesses and desires. He tempts individuals with worldly pleasures, encourages them to engage in sinful behavior, and seeks to create doubt in their faith. While Iblis is considered a powerful and influential figure, Islam teaches that ultimately, he has no control over a person's choices. Humans possess free will and are responsible for their own actions. Islamic teachings emphasize personal accountability and the need for individuals to resist Iblis's temptations and strive for righteousness. In Buddhism, Mara is a significant figure associated with the concept of delusion, desire, and the obstacles that hinder spiritual progress. Mara is not depicted as having a physical form or a specific appearance, but rather represents the embodiment of mental and emotional defilements that cloud the mind and perpetuate suffering. In Buddhist mythology, Mara is often depicted as a tempter or a demon-like figure who attempts to distract and derail individuals on their path towards enlightenment. Mara is known as the Lord of the Samsara, or the cycle of birth and death. His influence extends beyond the physical realm and encompasses the mental and emotional aspects of human existence. He is often symbolically represented as a menacing figure or a personification of worldly desires, attachment, and ego. Mara's primary role is to obstruct individuals on their journey towards liberation and awakening. Overcoming Mara's influence is seen as an essential part of the spiritual journey towards awakening and the cessation of suffering. Recognizing and overcoming Mara's influence is seen as integral to the pursuit of spiritual growth and liberation from suffering. In Sikhism, the concept of the devil is not personified as a singular malevolent being, as is the case in some other religions. While Sikhism does not personify evil in the form of a devil, the religion acknowledges the presence of evil and suffering in the world as a consequence of human actions driven by the ego. Sikhism views evil as arising from the human mind's ego, ignorance, and attachment. The Sikh understanding of evil is closely tied to the concept of the five thieves, or also known as Panj Kaur. Lust, anger, greed, attachment, and the ego are considered the primary vices that lead individuals away from living a righteous and virtuous life. Sikhs believe that these vices are the root cause of suffering and separation from God. The Sikh gurus taught that overcoming these vices and cultivating virtues such as humility, contentment, and selflessness is essential to leading a life in harmony with the divine will. While Sikhism does not personify evil in the form of a devil, the religion acknowledges the presence of evil and suffering in the world as a consequence of human actions driven by the ego. The focus of Sikh teachings is on attaining liberation from the cycle of birth and reincarnation through spiritual realization and aligning one's actions with the divine truth. We would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below sharing your favorite devil story or any other creatures you'd like us to explore in future videos. Thank you once again for joining us, and until the next video.